Okay, you ready?
That's better. Much better.
Cool. Yeah. Here we are. It's Monday morning. It is just after 6 o'clock, and good morning, everybody. The early bird catches the worm. You guys are like the earliest birds ever. I don't know what worms you're after, but this is your day. Go out there and win. I've got Mashene Sefuti.
Good
here with
morning,
me.
Gareth.
Hello, Mash.
How are you doing?
The great and powerful Mash. How are you?
I am amazing. I am wonderful. Just
Right.
this morning, it's a bit hectic, but we'll get to that.
Well, okay. Let's start there. I don't have an agenda. What happened? Why is it hectic? What happened?
So this morning, I'm actually going to Klerksdorp immediately after this show. I'm going straight
Why?
to Klerksdorp.
What's happening?
So I'm actually going to Klerksdorp for work. And every time I go to Klerksdorp, I stay with my family. So
Sure.
this week is actually a big, what do you call it? Is it a convention? I think it's a convention.
Okay.
Agricultural convention.
Oh.
Yes, it's a big one. It's called Nampu. It's happening this week.
Yeah.
So I
That's
have
a
to go
big deal,
there.
right?
Yeah, it's a big deal amongst the Burra Mensa.
I've
hey?
heard about this.
Oh, it's a big deal. As you can see, I'm wearing my shortest shorts. So
Yeah,
I'm ready.
This is what I wanted to talk to you about. And when he walks in here now. You may have noticed I am dressed like an Eskimo already, even though we're still in mid-May. It's not even the middle of May yet, and I'm already wearing as much clothing as I could muster this morning. I don't like winter, and I was getting dressed, and I thought, oh, maybe an extra layer just in case, right?
Okay.
And I left the house, and I got into the car, and it was like, brrr. We're in for a cold winter.
It's going to be pretty cold.
It's going to be horrible. Anyway, you walk in here. He saunters in here wearing the shortest shorts and a T-shirt and a cap, a hat. That's all you've got on.
Gareth,
The hell?
it is not winter yet. It is still autumn.
No, you're crazy. You are definitely mentally unstable
It
just
is-
to wear that outfit now.
Winter starts in June.
Are you not feeling the cold?
I'm not feeling the cold that much at all, actually. In fact, it could be colder. That's what I always tell myself.
Would you say that you felt the cold more when you were fatter? Because now that you're fit, it seems like you don't feel the cold.
That might be the thing, but then it's weird. Even at work, actually, I can actually attest to this. Our HR lady was like, Mash is always sick, number one, and Mash is always cold.
Are you always sick?
I was sick quite a lot beginning of this year, but I think it's the flu that's been going around, the really bad flu. I was sick for about 3 weeks, and then that
Shit.
flu went away, and now I'm feeling hot all the time.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened. Maybe that flu flipped a switch inside me. I am not quite sure, but
So you are going to go off to Nampu,
yes.
and you will be filling the spaces that have been left vacant by those Afrikaners who are going as refugees to America.
Absolutely. I will be filling
see?
all those spaces.
See, South Africans, we are a boer maak 'n plan, and our new boer. Let me introduce you to our new boer, ladies and gentlemen. It is Mash.
Here I am, a Burmanka plan and a Bursuka man. So
There we go. He's looking for both. I hope you're all ready.
no, I'm not. I'm not actually. I'm kidding.
Well, it's Simpiwe who's looking for a boer. She's even prepared to go to Orania.
Oh shit.
That
Will
are
she
you-
be allowed there?
Yeah.
I've seen black people at Orania actually. There's this one black guy who's always trending on Twitter because he performs Afrikaans songs there.
Yeah.
Oh, and they love him. He's like their Beyonce.
Well, you see, because I think absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes.
And even for a person who who might be very into their own community and doesn't really look out, but a little bit xenophobic maybe.
Yes.
Call them anything you want. I think even they sometimes hanker for a little bit of that, especially if they've grown up in South Africa.
Oh, I can
Like,
absolutely
yeah,
attest to this.
I would like to see. I'm. You know what? I'm ready for more blacks in my life, or I'm ready for more whites in my life, or I'm ready
Gareth-
for more Afrikaners, or I'm ready for whatever.
Gareth, what you're saying is a fact. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah,
it's an
it's true.
actual fact because I remember back in the days when I was on the dating apps.
Yeah.
I was on the I'm gonna say it. I was on the grinders of the world and
Oh,
all
right,
that, those
okay.
funny
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Always Burra Mensa.
They were
Burra
interested,
Mensa.
eh? They were like,
Always
"Hi,
in
hello."
demand. But then you look at their profiles, like you actually find out a bit about them because these are people who are so DL. They don't show anything. They don't share anything about themselves.
Oh.
They'll be like, come to my house, but they don't want to send you a picture. So you're like, so who am I meeting? They're like, you'll see when you get here. I'm like, so I can't escape. It's crazy on those apps. But you'd always find these people who they are the most biggest racist. I'm going to say it straight. They're the biggest racist.
Yeah.
You go to their homes, they want to, hanky-panky, and they want to explore the Cadbury side of life. And as soon as they're done, they're just like, okay, cool, I'm done
Back
with this
to my
chocolate.
racism.
Throw away the wrapper.
Back to my racism.
Back to my racism. And it's the most racist people who are on these apps looking for the black boys and the black girls. It's always them.
Well, this is where I think racism is so much more complicated, and we definitely don't want to start Monday with a conversation about this. But it is interesting to me because I don't think I think there's a psychological problem going on there.
There is.
I don't think it's just like straight up, I prefer my own kind.
No, it's not.
Or I don't like your kind.
Yeah.
I think it's way more complex than that. Because when people are doing that,
Yeah.
and I mean, you're blowing my mind this morning because I have no idea how that universe works. And then to hear that it's the most like racist guys that are interested in finding other guys, it's like this is not it's not in my vocab. I wouldn't know how to explain it. Maybe this is something we need to address with Dr. Hanan. I don't know. I do know that there's that line from Shakespeare's King Lear where he says something to the effect of, the policeman lashes the whore not because he's trying to punish her, but because he hungers for the thing that she represents.
Absolutely.
So it's almost as if you chase the thing that you want the most, but secretly you hate yourself for it.
Yes.
And therefore that comes out as hatred of that thing or that person.
100%.
Right? I mean, it's a very amateur attempt at psychology here, but let's go.
No, that's pretty accurate to me. Very, very accurate. If you think even back to the pastors as well. Remember those pastors who'd be so homophobic?
They're always the ones who are secretly having gay love affairs, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And every single one throughout history has proved us right. So at this point, we're pretty much aware that, okay, cool, people who are really against something are low-key doing
That's
it
true,
somewhere.
Hey? The ones who are the most like vehemently against something are usually the ones who are indulging in a little bit of that themselves.
The ones guiding or leading the corruption watch in government are the ones doing the corruption because they can oversee.
Protest too much.
Yeah, they can oversee that. Okay, cool. I'm hating on these people, and I have to be. I have to be ahead all the time.
That's so right. Speaking of whores, have you seen what Diddy looks like now?
No, what does he look like?
Okay, we got to find this picture because this is something else.
Where is he? He's in prison.
So he's in prison.
Oh,
and he looks
old
all of a sudden. Okay, so I know that Diddy is the guy who's having the freak off parties.
Yes,
but I want to know who was at the parties.
Ellen DeGeneres?
No. But we know some of them, and that's speculative. Hey, we haven't seen a list.
Okay,
but I want to see the list because just like with Epstein's people.
Yes,
you want to know. It's not the organizer here who's the only one who's to blame. Some people went to these things and they took part. I want to know who those people are.
Ellen DeGeneres and others. With her, I can confirm because tweets came out from her saying that, Diddy, you have the best parties. That's such a good time last night.
Wow.
She exposed herself.
All right.
So other people should have done that as well. Unfortunately, not many people did. But yeah, so she was there. So we can cancel her, Clar. Well, she's already been cancelled, I believe.
Well, there's that thing with the staff members who hated her because she was such a horrible boss, that kind of thing, right? Yeah. Okay, let's just look at the comments for this morning. There are lots of people up and at 'em today. Did you see 49 Afrikaners left for greener pastures with proper service delivery? Okay, so I'm not emotional about this at all. To me, you must go wherever in the world you want to go. You must do whatever you want to do. Whatever your reasons are, mostly it's not important to me. I don't love these people for what they're doing. I don't hate these people for what they're doing. It's their decision. You know, it's like when a friend of yours decides they're going to move to London for 6 years. What are you going to do? Talk them into staying because they're your friend and you want them around? That's selfish. What are you going to do? Chase them away because you've decided you don't like them anymore and you want them to get out of your way? I mean, there's always so much other undercurrent stuff going on here.
Absolutely.
Let people go. I don't have any problem with this. They say it's only one plane load. It's not even the whole plane that is
it's just one
refugees.
plane load.
So everybody was making a big... Do you remember the noise on social media about this? It was
so
like
much
you thought, oh my God, 100,000 people are going to be leaving.
Yeah.
And going to, I don't know, set up a South African commune in fucking Texas or something.
Absolutely.
It's 49, it's either 49 people or 49 families. But it's not a lot. I mean, I guarantee you they're not people that we can afford to lose. Because I don't think these are like, otherwise how would they be able to get there and have any prospect of setting themselves up, right? If you can't make it here, I don't think you're going to make it in America. And I don't mean that in any glib, facile way. I think it is really tough to make it in your own country, the country of birth, the country where you speak the language, you know the terrain, you know the people, you know the currency, you understand the market. You know, you've got insider info here that you don't have if you move to America. So I think that these are probably people we can ill afford to lose. You know, people with skills, people with education, people who might be able to make a contribution. But it's not my place to tell people what to do. I don't know how you feel about this.
Bona, Gareth, first things first, these people are going to get a rude awakening as soon as they get to America. No more maids. No more gardeners.
Oh, wow.
No more of these luxury services that we take for granted in this country simply because we're paying people like $15 an hour to work for us.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So now that all of that is going to be gone, they're going to get the rudest awakening because they are now, you know how Zimbabweans come to South Africa, they end up doing Uber Eats, they end up doing Mr. D, all those things. They're going to be those people. They're going to be the immigrants now.
That's
and
right.
they're going to experience the other side of life and get to understand that it's not so easy on the other side. And also, they had it really good up in this country because they were already like top of the pile here. They're going to learn.
Look, I always say that to any people I know who've emigrated, I always go, oh, you do your thing.
Yeah.
But if you're moving for negative reasons, as opposed to a positive reason on the other side, usually it's not a good idea.
Oh, it's not.
I mean, I understand, look, you know, you could have people in that group who have had a relative murdered and they're very traumatized or something, and then they blame the country. It's not that there's a murderer, but there's, you know, the country's to blame. I understand that that would be a reason for people to leave, and again, it's your decision. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say to you, you must or you mustn't. Do your thing.
They're gonna learn the hard way.
It's
only a matter of
let's hope
time.
they don't. I don't want to see anyone suffering as a result of this, but these are now decisions you have to make.
Absolutely.
So if, for example, you decided you wanted to go and just switch from Joburg to Cape Town,
Yes.
we all know how hard that can be.
Yeah, it
right?
can.
We all know people who've done it. Even vice versa, Cape Town to Joburg. Things are different. And that's just in the same country.
Absolutely.
You can only imagine how much difficulty you're bringing into your life by, you know, people will say it's for the kids or whatever. Like, we're steadily moving into a world where your geographical position has less to do with your ability to make a living, your ability to educate your children. And I know that we haven't tied up all the dirty loose ends yet, but I don't think eventually it's going to matter where you live. If you want an education, you're going to get it off your phone, or you're going to get it uploaded to your memory from AI through, I don't know, Neuralink or something. But we're not going to be going to university campuses anymore in the next 10 years.
Gareth,
it's going to be phased out, right?
Times are changing.
They are fast.
And a lot of things are changing as well, especially in the tech space.
Yeah.
In the tech space, things are changing so freaking fast that one thing I realized is that, so I studied software development. Oh, you learn one thing. By the time you damn graduate, everything's 100%
different, right?
changed.
Yeah.
Now people are coding with AI. And it makes you wonder, wait, did I just waste my time? Did I just waste my time studying what I studied? It makes you wonder that to yourself, unfortunately.
Definitely.
So things are always changing and stuff is always like, you know, adjusting. But you have to adjust with the times as well, unfortunately.
All right, well, let's see here. South Africa isn't only working because of gardeners and maids. No, of course not. But he's right, though. That's one thing that people don't think about, you know.
Yes.
There are people in this country who don't earn a lot of money who have maids.
Yes.
You know, people who like have a fairly humble job, earning maybe 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
They're paying someone to clean their house.
Gareth, I have a helper.
Right.
I have a helper. And I stay in a
You're not
small
poor.
little place. I'm not poor, but I'm also not rich.
I know, but everybody who has a helper in this country isn't just rich.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you have someone who maybe does the dishes, maybe just cleans the house, maybe does your washing.
Yes.
Right? And you don't have to be super rich to do that. You try that in Europe or America or
Australia.
Yeah.
Oh,
You need mega money
you
to do
need
that.
you need Elon Musk money just
Yeah.
to be able to have a helper there.
So think about how much time in your day you're going to spend doing those things when you do the calculation. And again, if you decide to go or you decide to stay, that's up to you. Frankly, I don't actually give a shit. It's totally your decision.
And Gareth, I can almost guarantee you that most of these people have never done those things themselves. They've never cleaned themselves.
No.
They've never done the garden
I
themselves.
had to do some dishes over the weekend.
Okay. Well done. Well done.
I had
Woo!
to, no, I'll explain it. So we went away for the weekend. I went
Yeah.
with my sister, her boyfriend, and my two of my cousins. And we just went away for like literally a day and 1 day of travel on either side. So it was quick.
Okay.
It wasn't too far. It was about a 3.5 hour drive, which is not,
okay.
it's not close, but it was fun.
That's
Beautiful,
quite far.
beautiful
Yeah.
place. So get there. Oh, we cooked and we ate lots of food and we had a wonderful time and we laughed a lot and we just sat around fires and that kind of thing. It was very nice. And then I said on Saturday morning or afternoon, I'll do the dishes. Well, I've forgotten how to do the dishes.
But you
because-
offered.
No, I know. I offered. So I know what to do. I mean, it's not... But then I looked at this pile of shit in the one sink because there are two sinks.
Okay.
And I thought, no. I said to my sister, I'll make a deal with you. You do this and I'll do these three things rather.
Yeah.
She said, cool. So I handed over responsibility.
Gareth, what was the
I washed
issue?
5 plates and all the cutlery. And
When
then
last
I was
did you
like, I
wash
can't do this
dishes
anymore.
before this?
So I don't know. Probably a couple of months ago.
Couple of months ago, Gareth.
Yeah, I don't wash dishes.
You see, you'd also not survive in America.
No, I listen, I can wash dishes.
Okay.
I can, but I choose not to. I choose
Oh.
to delegate that responsibility to other people.
It makes life easier for you.
Sure. It's
It
not a
certainly does.
prioritization of my labor.
Yeah.
Just let me know when we're on. Okay, cool. Apparently we're back in the middle of a conversation about like me not being able to wash dishes. How exciting. I mean, you've missed so much. And then I told him about the washing and the cleaning of the floors, and Mash is just horrified. Anyway, I see lots of comments about James. That was not James's fault. Technical issues today were courtesy of Eskom.
Yeah.
Did you look it up? Is it load shedding or what is
It's
it?
not load shedding. I don't know what
Must
it
have
is.
been a power failure in the building.
Yeah. It happens.
Anyway, it
everywhere.
just went dark in here, and that's never happened before.
Sure, that is crazy.
Mash was like, "Oh shit, I'm like cold, and now I'm gonna get cold. This aircon is freezing already."
My legs can handle it.
All
now.
right, there's a billboard I see on my
Where?
way through Midrand every time, and
Okay.
it's for some Netflix show, and the guy on the billboard looks exactly like you.
Hi, Gareth.
Promise you, I'm gonna take a picture today.
I don't
I've
have
been meaning
Netflix.
to.
I don't know. What's the
I can't remember the show's name or anything, but I'll find it and send it.
I actually see this guy. Hey,
He looks like you.
maybe you can play a little like imposter.
Yeah,
We'll
and
switch
I mean, you could
places.
earn some of that Netflix money.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the plan.
Right. So, what's been happening in your family? Because this is always my favorite thing. Whenever Mash comes in here, we end up having conversations about his crazy family. Not all of them are crazy, obviously, like any family.
Yeah.
There are one or two, like, who make the grade as being a little bit different.
Absolutely.
There's an aunt, there's a Rakhadi who's a little bit different. There's that uncle of yours who missed his own wedding. Let's not forget.
Well, he's back. He's back in the picture.
Oh, he's
again.
back, is he?
Yeah.
What's he doing now?
So, he calls me, when was it? Last week, Saturday. Yes, Saturday. Because I remember Sunday I called my mother. So Saturday he calls me, and keep in mind that like I actually didn't call me from his phone. He called me from his wife's phone. His new wife.
What does that mean?
The marriage, I mean, the wedding he missed wife. Because he knew that I was not going to take his call. So he calls me from his wife's phone and I answer, and he's like, yeah. So they call me Stashoni in my family, by the way. Very long story. We'll get to it one day.
Okay.
But he's like, Stashoni, bona, I need your help, ne? Yeah. So my wife's daughter, so his stepdaughter, because his wife has a daughter who's doing her first year in varsity at the moment. And he's like, yeah, my wife's daughter's being kicked out. They're in Midrand. The funding hasn't paid in time. And her landlord is like kicking her out like today. In fact, he's already kicked her out. And I thought they're going to ask me to like, I don't know, pay for her boarding. And he didn't. He just asked me to.
Want?
Yeah, he asked me if I would be willing to take the daughter in. The stepdaughter.
Oh,
his stepdaughter.
Now you have to have her in your house.
Who I don't know, number one. And
you've never really spent time with her. You've never met her at all.
Well, I've seen her at the actual wedding, the wedding that he didn't attend. So I've seen her once. That was it. I never spoke to her. We never engaged, nothing. There were so many people back at home on that day. So now he's like, yeah, can she move in with you and just until the funding pays? And my first thought is, okay, when will the funding pay? And I asked him this, when will the funding pay? Yeah. No, by tomorrow. I'm like, aye, by tomorrow. Aye. So what I said to him might make me sound like a horrible person. It might make me sound like a terrible person. But I said to him, look, this is a struggle and struggles help us build character. So, yeah, just know that this...
No, but you don't want her moving in with you.
I don't know her.
Oh, you
also,
hate that.
She has no job. So my other thought was, you know how hard it is, Gareth, to kick someone out who doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
Who has nowhere to go, who has nothing going on.
And they got nothing to lose.
And they have nothing to lose.
So they'll steal your stuff on the way out.
Exactly. They'll steal my expensive
and
china.
You don't know this person. This would be like taking in someone you've never been around for more than 5 seconds.
This will literally be like taking in someone from an app. That I just met on an app.
Dangerous.
Yeah. We just said hi. They're like, yeah, I'm coming. I'm like, okay, come through. So I told him that, look, unfortunately, I won't be able to help. I live too far. Your stepdaughter studies in Midrand area, so I will not be able to help, unfortunately.
And how did he take it?
Oh, he didn't take it well. And then shortly after that call, I'm called by my cousin, one cousin that I'm really close with, not my parliament cousin, another cousin of mine. She calls me and she's like, oh yeah, our uncle called me. He was asking for your number. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, he already called me. I don't know why he's calling you asking for my number.
Did you give him my number?
Yeah, and she's like, no, I didn't. I'm calling you to ask for permission to give you his number. Oh. I'm like, that's weird. So he called me and then maybe he thought I dropped the phone or I blocked the number or something. Maybe he tried to call again.
No, he just didn't get the answer he wanted.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
He's like, yeah, that number is just, I need another number. Maybe Mesh has another number.
Yeah, he's got a secret number where he's going to say yes. Yeah. Unbelievable.
So that's what I was dealing with my uncle. And even my mom was like, oh, he cray. Oh, he's lost his damn mind. He's lost his damn mind because he is not okay at all. He is just losing it at the moment. I told you, he also asked my dad for money yet again. And it's this non-stop, never-ending cycle.
What are you going to do with him?
Nothing. I'm just going to ignore.
It's amazing to me, like most families have one of these.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. And they and these people manage to live. They manage to exist. They manage to be a parasite on everyone else. It's a wonder to me because I obviously we talk often on the show about the black tax but you said to me a while ago you don't do that anymore because
I don't do black tax things, hey, with my family.
Because you know what, you're guilted into handing over money you've earned when there are 3 people who are sitting around doing nothing who expect just to be looked after.
Yes,
not on.
And you know what? My mom and dad are always fighting about this uncle all the time because my mom is always telling me that your dad is the problem. The reason why these people, this uncle of yours rather, is always asking is because your dad has always given. He's always giving him money in secret.
Yeah, you need some tough love.
And that's what happens eventually is that, okay, my older brother's always giving. Of course, my older brother's kids are going to give me money as well. DLF family is going to give me money.
Right.
That's what he thinks now.
Yeah.
And until somebody comes through and says, no, I'm cutting the taps. I'm closing the taps. You're no longer getting money from this family. It's never going to change, unfortunately. And that's just the reality of it.
Well, apparently, you know who else needs money?
Who needs money?
Well, everyone, but the city of Johannesburg needs money. We need 200 billion rand to keep South Africa's richest city from collapse. 200 billion. The city of Johannesburg needs that money to repair its collapsing infrastructure, with the mayor, Dada Morero, appointing a high-powered bomb squad. That's what they're calling them.
Hey, bo.
Bomb squad. I don't know if that's the best name, guys. You know, bombs usually do the opposite of develop infrastructure. Bombs usually destroy infrastructure.
Is that like an acronym
That's
for
what
something?
they're calling it. No, this is the ANC trying to be like clever. Coming
They're
up
trying
with
to fit in
catchphrases.
with like the kids,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
TikTok.
The
They're
lingo.
like bomb. Yeah, the kids like bombs.
Exactly. So it's
Yeah.
going to be led by ANC veteran Snooki Zikalala to tackle widespread issues like potholes, illegal electricity, and decaying water systems. Despite meeting current financial obligations, the city faces critical funding shortfalls, with experts warning that without addressing corruption and mismanagement, even significant investments won't prevent total collapse. So the money's been stolen.
Of course.
It's not going to where it was meant to go.
yeah.
You're not even surprised. I'm not even surprised. Nobody's surprised.
Of course.
So now they want more money. And Snooki Zikalala used to be a reporter for the SABC.
You know, I knew I recognized that name. Oh, okay. I was like, hey man, Snooki.
Yeah, Snooki Zikalala. Now
Okay.
he's called ANC veteran, and he's going to be head of the bomb squad.
Ooh. And also, are we going to trust someone named Snooki with our money?
No.
Remember the last Snooki on Jersey Shore?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we should trust
That
them.
chick.
Yeah, that chick.
She
Yeah.
was stupid as hell.
Yeah, South Park portrayed her as some sort of kangaroo or something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that episode. But yeah, are we going to trust someone named Snooki with our money though?
No, but
I don't think
they
so.
need 200 billion rand, which they don't have and which they're not going to get out of us because there's no one in the city that can help them.
So where's our money gone? Our tax, our VAT?
Yeah, so you pay every month
Yeah.
your rates and taxes. You don't have an option.
We don't.
You pay your water and electricity. You don't have an
Yes.
option. And it all is meant to go through the city of Joburg, but they're clearly so crooked, so rotten, that they have no money left.
But whom?
Yeah.
So now where are they expecting to get the money? Where is Snooki expecting the money
Angas.
to come from?
I don't know, but it's not good.
Ooh, I feel like they're going to punish us with some sort of load shedding or something. Because they're going to be like, well, we want money. Give us money.
Well, they're going to find some way to derive, and we're the only people they can squeeze for the money, right?
We are the only people, unfortunately.
All
and
right,
it's so few of us.
Do you want to try and do a little sport with James? We haven't done this for a while. I think people missed it.
Oh,
So
yes.
James is going to give us a quick sports recap on. Oh, but wait! Before you do that, you promised me a picture of P Diddy, how he looks now. Can I have a look at that? Oof!
Oh my
That
goodness.
for real? Yes.
It's because he hasn't been going for the micro needling, the hair dyeing, all the things that keep him young, the Botox.
Right.
So everything's starting to just discombobulate in his face.
But doesn't he just look like any other criminal now?
He looks like
Right.
the biggest criminal to me. I'm scared.
And also, look at that face. He's pissed off.
Ooh, oh my goodness.
Yes.
You're terrifying.
Very bad.
That looks like a man who's had a life change.
Sure.
Goodness.
Well, there he is. There's P Diddy. And here's James.
Hello.
Hello, James.
Hi,
How are you
James.
guys?
Good. Let's just be clear. Everyone who was attacking James in the comments, it's not his fault that we went down for a couple of minutes just now. He was not to be blamed. And neither was it Flex, because I saw some people intimating that it might have been Flex. It wasn't him either.
We've
Yeah.
had some rotten luck in the last few shows, huh?
I had some rotten comments for you, and you've taken it on the chin, which you didn't have to do. But there we go.
Mama didn't raise no bitch.
Yeah, right.
But that's what I've
So
learned.
okay, let's get straight into it.
Let's
what do you got for us
do
today?
it. There was a Nedbank Cup final this weekend.
Yes.
A lot of people upset. A lot of people happy.
Were you upset, Mash?
I was happy. I was very, very happy.
Are you a Chiefs
because
fan?
I'm a Chiefs fan. That's
Okay.
why I was happy. And I went on TikTok and I just saw videos of mothers taking videos of their children crying.
Oh.
Kids were proper bawling their eyes out because Pirates lost. It was a big deal. I never realized how huge of a deal it was.
Neither did I until I saw so many people wearing Pirates or Chiefs shirts.
Yeah,
this
even
weekend.
at the gym, I went to Kauai to get my smoothie. They even asked me like, "Are you a Chiefs or a Pirates fan?" I was like, "I'm a Chiefs fan." They're like, "Okay, cool, I'll give you a smoothie." I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you. Look at that."
So that happened this weekend. There was the Nedbank Cup final. Chiefs won it 2-1. at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Then there was also English Premier League this weekend. Liverpool played Arsenal, Ben versus James. That ended in a 2-2 draw, unfortunately. Forest, they played Leicester 2-2. Chelsea lost to Newcastle 2-0. City drew to Southampton 0-0. I actually haven't been on the show since Liverpool became Premier League champions.
No. We kept you off on purpose just so that you couldn't sit there and crow.
So you can see me all smug and happy.
That was part of the plan, actually. Now you've rumbled our plan.
You know, number 20. That's all I've got.
Okay.
It's been 2 weeks of a great time. And we are Premier League champions. 2 games left to go in the Premier League, and only 6 points separate teams second from 7th, which means for next season, European competition could be quite stiff. Not all the teams have qualified just yet. So we have teams Arsenal, Newcastle, City, Chelsea, and Villa all in the running to still make Europe next season, which is wild with 2 games left to go. And that's the excitement of football, by the way. You think it's kick it here.
Sound like you're trying to convince me.
I am. One day I'll convince you that football is a great sport. There was also rugby this weekend. Another big weekend of wins for SA's top teams. Huge wins for the Bulls, Sharks, and the Stormers, with the Warriors losing. The Bulls are now in 2nd place, Sharks 4th, and the Stormers all the way up to 5th with 1 round of pool play left. And that is pretty much sport.
It's a total desporto.
Quick and fast.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Quick and fast.
So, Mash, you'll be pleased to know, Flex and James both went to gym Saturday and Sunday this weekend.
Flex
Hey,
did
Bo.
Saturday and Sunday. I did
That's
Sunday.
Flex. That's excellent. And you did one of
Wow.
them.
I did one of them. Yeah.
But that's very good.
That is amazing. I'm glad to see I'm inspiring you guys.
Yeah, it is. It's all they actually. They said to me this morning, it's all because of Mash.
Yep.
I know, hey. These
true.
thick thighs are saving our lives. I'm so proud.
Thick thighs save lives.
All right, very good. He did tell me though, James, that he found it traumatic to be in the locker room because those old men who towel their balls.
I have too many stories about locker rooms, but to help you get more well acquainted and comfortable in the locker room, just think of it like this. Because when I only started using the locker room at the gyms in around
Here's some advice.
November last
Some
year.
brotherly advice from
Yeah.
Mash. Okay,
So this is
that's
quite recent for me as well. I'm not like a pro in the locker rooms
Got
yet, you know? So what made me build the confidence and feel confident enough to just go in there and strut in there and not care was think of yourself as the hottest thing on earth, James. You need to be a little bit delusional with the way that you see yourself. If you see yourself as the hottest thing on earth, you're going to walk in that locker room and you're going to swing it all the way to the shower and back. Okay?
I like the energy it gives, but not everyone needs to see me whacking it around. I don't need to see old man that's 60 years old whacking it around either.
But nobody's like directly whack. They're not like, hey, Jamesy, come over here. Let's have a good time. They're just living their lives. And that's the thing, is that, gym makes you realize that everybody's just living their lives and nobody
That's
really
true.
gives a shit.
Yeah.
Because you have this anxiety. Like, first it starts off with, I'm scared to go to the gym. Oh, people are going to stare at me because I'm fat. They're going to think I don't know what
they
I'm
don't
doing.
care.
In fact, nobody cares. You get to the steam room and the change rooms as well. And you're like, everybody's going to be staring at me. Oh, no. People are just thinking to themselves, I hope there's eucalyptus in the damn steam room. That's all they're thinking to themselves. Nobody actually gives a
I
shit.
hope it's hot. I hope it's hot
I
enough.
hope it's hot. I
Yeah.
hope it's hot enough. I hope the sauna's hot enough. Nobody's like, oh no, they're gonna be staring at me. Somebody's gonna try kiss me in there. It's not like that. It's only like that in movies, whatever media you guys are consuming.
I don't
It's
know,
actually
Flex told me there was
super
one guy
chilled.
looked at him a bit funny. Just saying.
Flex, he wasn't looking at you, hey? He was looking at your junk maybe, but not you. So
Yes.
that's the thing with gym, is that nobody actually cares as much as you think you do. And I had to learn this the hard way.
Oh, yeah?
But until you learn that, you have to be a bit delusional about it.
But okay, that makes sense. But what about having just a little bit of decorum? Do you know what I mean? I get it's a bathroom and you can be naked. And
Well,
that's
that's why I
totally
brought up the old men, because they're the ones
Yeah.
who they just don't give a shit.
fine. They really don't.
Oh, they don't. I was once in the steam room and there was a man literally standing on the seat where I'm sitting. And there he was doing his stretches. He put one leg up.
Yeah,
He's just doing his stretches up there in the steam
Big
room.
sweaty
Oh, my
balls
goodness.
crack.
Oh,
How disgusting.
what a scene.
What a
scene.
disgusting situation.
But I just learned, mind your own business. This poor man's doing whatever feels right to him.
Poor man.
I might have days where I'm doing stuff that feels normal to me, but other people are looking at me like, whoa, what are you doing?
And you guys wonder why I don't go to the gym often. Old man penis.
Yeah, blame old
but
man penis.
Don't focus on that. That's not the reason you're
I
there.
try not to.
Exactly.
Okay.
You have to
Very
just be delusional and have and remove the peripheral vision. Remove your peripheral glasses. Just think of gym as I'm here to do my job and I'm here to leave.
Got
I'm
you.
here to do what I need to do and I'm here to fuck off. What other people are doing, I don't care about. If some man is mooning me and flashing his asshole at me, it doesn't matter to me. That's how you have to see it.
I'm ready to tackle gym this afternoon again.
Bona.
I was a little bit traumatized.
We
but
are
now
on, James. We are on.
What a guy.
Yes,
What a guy.
we're gonna be shaking these
All right,
booties.
well, Christian says that he reckons Diddy aged 10 years. Percy says Mash stopped using the gym locker rooms when they installed liquid soap. And then Bitcoin Bit says, I'm hoping for a dip back below 90K for Bitcoin. So I'll buy in there. So there's lots of talk about that. I think we should stick with On the Bounce on Thursdays and Ben's review on Friday's show for sport. The sports review quickly went south. So no fans there, I'm afraid, James, for your sport. Sorry.
Sometimes people are going to hate you.
Goon says, try running a marathon. People just defecate out in the open.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Speaking of, I had an idea this weekend, not of
What?
defecating out in the
I should
open.
hope not. You're
Oh.
not fouling your pavement at home. Yeah?
I want to get back into doing gym like consistently and stuff.
No.
So I thought of setting myself a goal of doing like not a marathon. I'll get there eventually, but like setting myself up to do a young like half marathon
Okay.
or a 10K
I think
run
that's a good goal to have.
Yeah.
to keep me on track. So that's
I did
what I'm
I
investigating.
did about a 3.5 kilometer hike, which doesn't sound so bad, but it was at this kind
Oh,
of
that's
angle.
a hike. Yeah.
It was high.
Sounds pretty bad.
And on the top of this mountain, I thought I was going to die. I was breathing like an emphysema patient.
Oh my goodness. Like you have
But I did it,
tuberculosis.
and then the way down is easy.
Okay, yeah.
That's easy, but
3 kilometers is a very long hike, Gareth. I'm very impressed.
At a substantial angle, I'll tell you that much.
Oh my word. Oh, wow. Everybody at the Real Network is becoming fit.
That's what
Oh,
we
I
do.
love it.
That's what we do. We're leveling up.
All right, but let's all do these things because you know what? There's no time like the present.
That's true.
Absolutely.
No one's waiting for you to go and join their marathon. No one's waiting for you to climb that mountain. Just do it.
And do it for yourself. You know,
Right.
there's some benefits to living a healthy, fit lifestyle, of course, and it has some consequences as well. So you have to balance it.
Motivational Mondays on the go.
What are the good? Name 2 good things and 1 bad.
Okay, 2 good things. Obviously, you look amazing.
True.
Your skin becomes amazing as
Right.
well. You feel amazing.
Right.
People stare.
Yeah, you get desirable attention and some undesirable attention. But
Yes.
okay,
But
you got to take the good with the bad.
But the desirable outweighs the undesirable.
Sure. And
Of
then-
course, in the
and then-
gym locker rooms, I am the superstar. You know,
Oh, yeah,
I
I'm
just
sure.
get there and I just
I'm sure
whip off the
Mash
towel.
also. Yeah, Mash is also busy. Like,
Oh yes, yeah. I walk in there with my towel and I'm like, whip me, and then I throw the towel and then someone
yeah.
catches
All
it
right.
and
and the bad,
amazing.
is there any bad?
Oh, the bad is just okay. So a few things you have to come to terms with a bit later on in your fitness journey is that you're always gonna be cucking all the time.
Oh, really? So
Always
your digestive system is just working overtime.
Gareth, I eat now, an hour later I'm cucking. It's
Really?
crazy.
Wow.
And you're cucking, you're farting, and
Oh my God!
yeah, because I'm also eating
Turn
very
into
high
a
protein.
farting shitting machine.
Oh yes, yeah, a very
How
attractive
revolting!
farting machine.
Oh,
Ah,
Is that all just from protein?
how revolting!
all from
right, I
protein.
got to stop you there because we've got to get to Dr. Hanan.
We do. You're not wrong.
Get out of here, James. We've got things to do. All right, but yes, that's a very unpleasant side effect.
and it's the reality. It's the reality, unfortunately. But
Do you take supplements and things?
I take protein and creatine. That is all I take.
Okay.
So protein, creatine. That
And
is
do you think
it.
that's what's changed your diet so much that you are?
The protein makes you fat. That I know for a fact. Protein makes you fat like nobody's business. And just being skinny now is what's boosted my metabolism so much. Creatine I like because all it does is just help your body retain water and helps with the recovery. That is it. But it is crazy the amount of products that you can buy for gym now. You can spend so much money.
Oh my God.
I just stick to these 2 basic things and
All
I'm
right.
done.
Well, it worked for you. I mean, that's why we bring it up. All right, let's talk about something that I don't think I'm in a hurry to talk about, but there are lots of people who clearly are. The quiet crisis of emotional illiteracy in men. So it's time to welcome Dr. Hanan, who is our regular shrink, and also he is the guy who started up the anxiety and trauma clinic in Johannesburg. He's a renowned psychologist, and he is going to be joining us in just a moment. Do you care about the quiet crisis of emotional illiteracy in men?
This is a very serious issue, Gareth.
Really?
A very serious one. I can tell you now,
Okay, I'll
Bona.
put on my serious face.
My
Hang on.
past relationships, even like I saw it firsthand that men don't know how to communicate. They'd rather sit in silence and let emotions stew. And
Yeah, but who wants to hear them moaning?
I'd
Who
rather
wants to
hear
hear men-
moaning because
No.
they'll get angry later
I
on.
asked both. Well, I only knew my one grandfather because the other one died when I was quite young. And when I'd ask him about things like the war, he
Okay.
didn't say anything. He wouldn't tell me
Why didn't he
because
tell you?
it was too painful. Kept it inside. Never told a soul.
Hi,
He
Bo.
might have spoken to his friends who were with him in the war, but I don't know. I never saw them talking. And I
Okay.
admire that. I admire people who just keep their shit to themselves. But we'll find out what Dr. Hanan thinks. Is he on the line? Oh, is that your fault? Oh. James says he's trying to find a link. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just looking at these comments. A couple of people here who are like, the liquid left over from making cheese evaporated in powder form is like whey. That's
Oh,
whey.
yes.
That's the stuff that you're eating in the
Yeah.
protein. Okay? I did a 6-kilometer walk yesterday from Belito to Salt Rock on the beach and over the rocks. It was spectacular. That's from Durban Dope.
That
Wow.
sounds lovely.
That's a long way to go. And walking on the beach is tiring.
It's very tiring. I was about to ask, was that on the beach? Because that doesn't sound very comfortable. 6 kilometers. Can barely do 1 kilometer on the beach.
Dirk says, please, Lord, bring in the doc. Okay, we're getting him. Calm down. Then we've got someone else here who says, my dad is guilty of trying to run a marathon. Yeah, you know what? Not really my idea of fun, but for some people, that's what they want to do. Slippery Pickle says, real men bottle up their feelings deep, deep inside.
I do not agree with that. I do not agree with that.
Well, I'm with Dirk here who says we have to listen to enough people complaining every day. Can we please not add to it by trying to get men who are fine dealing with things on their own to also share their problems? Kind of agree. I'm kind of on his side on this. David Sachs says, love the show. Glad to catch you live from Sydney. Thank you, David. And Vyasan says, walk on wet sand on the beach. It's much easier. Yes, the closer to the sea. GC, is it true that your other grandfather died in a German concentration camp falling out of one of the towers? Ha, 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 Carla. Very nice. No, both of them fought the Nazis. They weren't Nazis. Consistency is my only problem. Oh, the price of whey protein. It is expensive, says Tabo.
It is so expensive. Oh my goodness. It's gotten insane, actually. It's gotten absolutely insane. In fact, my partner is actually now trying to get on, vegan protein at the moment.
That's going to be more expensive.
It's actually cheaper.
Is it?
Surprisingly, yeah.
Oh. Is he on? Okay, well, let's just stop that conversation, Mash, because we've got Dr. Hanan. Hello, Dr. Hanan. How are you?
Hello, guys. How are you guys?
Nice to see you. All right, so Doc,
Nice to see you.
we've already started the debate, with or without you here, about men being having low emotional intelligence. And we hear this a lot, that men don't talk about their feelings, that we don't open up enough. And I saw this comment from Dirk here, which I kind of largely agree with. We have to listen to enough people complaining every day. Can we please not add to it by trying to get men who are fine dealing with things on their own to also share their problems? Give us the clinical and the professional advice that we need with this subject.
So you're very well aware of my philosophy about emotions, and I say it often. Emotions are pathological liars. Emotions are not facts. You can't go to a doctor, get a blood test to assess your level of guilt or insecurity or frustration or anger or resentment. You can't even do that for generalized anxiety disorder or depression. Emotions don't have a biological marker. It's actually your own perception.
Right.
And we know how fallible our perceptions are. And the women are no better than men at assessing what they're feeling in line with the reality of what's happening to them. And emotions are just an opinion. And whatever your
Yeah.
opinion is, you're right and you're wrong at the same time. You can have your own opinion about anything. And my suggestion is always have an opinion / emotion that serves great value to you. In other words, you can perceive your situation as I am anxious and therefore I'm going to lock myself up in my room, cover my head with a duvet and hope that the feeling, the perception, the opinion goes away. Or I can actually go and do something about my situation and make it better. I see no value in perceiving, giving yourself an opinion and / emotion that adds no value to you. However way you perceive your body to react to any particular situation is either valuable to you or not. And I would urge people to start perceiving, giving themselves the opinion and giving themselves the emotion that is of value to them. So that's why men and women are no better or worse at perceiving what their bodies are doing in any particular situation. Ask yourself, does it have value or not?
Okay, but then my question is, what are people doing? Because that sounds like a good piece of advice for what we should be doing. But in your practice and in conversations, is that what you find people are doing, or are they just wallowing in their own emotions and going round and round in circles?
Well, of course, kind of the common theme that's been going on for a while is people wallow because it's a lot easier to stay in your comfort zone and sit with the perception, with the emotion, than go and do something about it out of your comfort zone. The great misconception, and we learn it from very, very early on, is that emotion is a one-word answer. And my hypothesis, and I argue that defining emotions as a one-word answer is completely unhelpful. So I'll give you an example. You know, from age 4, we walk into school and the teacher says to Timmy, what are you feeling? And Timmy points to an emotion board and he points at sad. And he said, I'm sad. And the classroom goes, well done, Timmy. You've labeled what you're feeling. You're great. And little Mary points at anxiety. I'm anxious. And the classroom claps and goes, Mary, well done. You've labeled your emotions.
Can I
And
just
what
say what a
we
fucking
learn
horrible
from-
class? Can I just say what a terrible class this is and how I would have hated being in that class? Fucking Timmy and Mary, these people with their problems. Oh,
So what ends up happening, Gareth, is that people learn from a very early age that emotion is a one-word answer. I'm anxious,
Yeah.
I'm sad, I'm frustrated, I'm angry.
yeah.
But who said and who promoted the rule that emotion should be one-word answer? Why can't it be a whole sentence? So, and my hypothesis is that when you give the emotion a whole sentence, the leverage or the power to be a whole paragraph, you're empowering yourself to go and doing something about it. So, for example,
Don't encourage them. Don't encourage them. I mean, a word is fine. I don't want to hear a whole sentence, a whole paragraph. What are you doing, Dr. Hanan?
So listen, to your point, the whole paragraph has got a certain rule set, and the whole paragraph needs to be divided into 2 parts. One is defining the problem, and 2, you'll love this, defining the solution. So emotion is not just what am I feeling, but rather defining the problem and defining the solution. And when you define the problem and you define the solution, now you're actually empowered to move forward and find a resolution to whatever you're going through. So I'll give you a quick example. So I can a lion, I'm just giving you a crazy example. A lion comes into the room, I can either go, I'm anxious, which most people will go, yeah, that's quite reasonable. I should be anxious or fearful when a lion comes into the room.
Sure.
Or I can define it as the problem. Okay, I'm in great danger. I can't confront the lion because the lion is bigger and stronger than me. And the solution is, well, I'm going to exit. I'm going to get out of this door, or get out of this window, or whatever. Now, the whole sentence is, I'm in great danger, and the way I'm going to deal with it is by getting out of the room. I'm suggesting that whole sentence is a lot more helpful than just defining it as fearful. With fearful,
Okay.
you're not defining what the problem is, and you're not defining, most importantly, what you're going to do about it. But when you define emotion as a whole sentence, in other words, what it is and what you can do about it, now you're empowered to go and actually act on it.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yo.
I do think, like, let's try to persuade people to just deal with a lot of your shit as much as you can yourself, especially if it's dumb, small stuff.
Absolutely.
I don't know, Doc, you're a busy man. You see patients every day. You can't have people who, they got the color of my hair wrong by like 3 shades of what I wanted, and then now I'm suffering post-traumatic stress disorder because of this. And you know, my daughter brought home her homework, and she was crying over the homework. Surely some people must just get over their little small bits of shit themselves. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. And it's usually people that don't have anything of value or meaning to work towards. People that are bored. People that are bored, that create nonsense, that is really not
Right.
important. Find
Stop it.
purpose, find meaning, have something to chase that is of value to you and human nature, as opposed to kind of sit and get into your own head and wallow. People that are bored naturally create issues that are just irrelevant.
I like that. That sounds very good
Yeah.
to me. Hamash?
It sounds really good. Dr. Hanan, I also want to find out, when it comes to emotional illiteracy, do you think that emotional literacy is something that is generational? Like, can adults pass it on to children?
Good question.
So obviously we copy paste what we observe from a very early age. And I train my kids to not label their feelings as one word. So when my child says to me, I'm sad, I go, no, what does it mean? And I want him to define what's going on in their world. And most importantly, I want them to define what they're going to do about it. I want to empower my kids to actually have the leverage to go and step out of their comfort zone and fix the problem, as opposed to leave their lives in open loops. So is it generational? Well, certainly it's not genetic. But do we observe and then copy paste into our world? Sure. But just like you can learn the wrong thing, you can unlearn it as well and learn the right thing in the process too.
Okay.
That's excellent.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, couldn't say that any better. This is why they line up around the block to go and see Dr. Hanan. All right, Doc, thank you so much. It's always good to see you
Okay,
first thing
nice
on
to
a
see
Monday.
you.
Helps us
See you soon.
helps us to get our shit together before we start the week. So we will be back in just a short while. Mash is here with us, which is terrific for a Monday. If you're wondering where Leanne is, hasn't she got in for a second hip? Jesus, I mean, how many
Damn.
hips does one person have, huh?
So all the hips are gone now.
She's a bionic woman.
Damn.
Basically, she's a mechanicus. She's like 93. I think there's 7% of the real Leanne left. The rest is all
so her hips
bioengineered.
do lie.
Yeah, her hips are big
Damn.
liars.
Oh my goodness.
Her hips
poor
are massive
Leanne.
liars.
Oh,
Yeah.
keeping her in our
Terrible.
prayers.
I must talk to you about Latino music and Latin women in a little while.
Okay.
And we've got to talk about a bunch of other things, which I think you'll find funny. All of that and more on the way. Don't go anywhere. This is the Gareth Cliff Show on the Real Network this Monday morning, the 12th of May.
Nobody wants to talk about Arsenal. From a green screen studio in Sandton, South Africa, to the world, it's another episode of the On The Bounce Show. Backed by moderate demand, Dimitri Leontakianakis returns for part 2 of sport's greatest photographs. A veritable tour de force of sport's greatest moments captured in time and then unpacked right here for your enjoyment. They say a photo is worth 1,000 words, so by that equation, this episode will be at least worth 1 million, or maybe slightly less. It's episode 47. It's the On The Bounce Show. It's Sports Greatest Photos Part 2. Let's get into it.
Do you lotion in between your butt cheeks?
Do you?
Hell no.
Me a lotion, boss.
Huh?
You never
No.
know when you're gonna need it.
What do you mean?
How? What if you confronted with the situation
Of
where
what?
there's hair there, boss?
Yeah?
Eish, Pelatinas bume to buy, fana. We try other tricks.
You get in there.
Nah,
Lotion.
I hit like a young squat and then I say ka 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 ka. Once I put Veet in there, what a terrible idea. Yo, mpana.
It burnt you, surely.
Like my ball sack was like boiling.
Nigga, the most
Oh, my
sensitive place
days.
is your balls,
Yeah,
bro,
bro.
you know?
That was the worst idea. And I put it like in my ass crack. So now I'm
What the
there
hell,
under the
Warwick?
tap like,
How are
Bloody
you?
cold water.
How are you? I just can't see the picture, but I'll be
I'm not
sorry.
trying to picture it.
I'm
Listen.
sorry why I asked
I'm
this.
not trying
How
to
are
picture
you
it.
literally like, are you doing this and are you like, what are you doing?
Back. Now, one silverback gorilla versus 100 men. Who would survive?
I mean, come on, guys. The gorilla is not going to survive.
nah, the gorilla will the guys up.
Fuck
It's
outta
a
here.
start.
Nah,
It's a start.
It's a start.
We might even hit each other by mistake there, you know what I'm telling
Okay,
you.
but the problem is with the 100 dudes.
And what kind
Who's
of
going
100 dudes?
first?
That's not what was asked.
Nah, the gorilla's like, let's
Nobody said that you must bring in your security knowledge here.
phela mina ngiyinsizwa mina ngiyinsizwa.
We're on, we're live, we're back, and I hope you are off to a good start this Monday morning. I'm here with Mash Sifut. We are busy talking about all the good shit this morning to get your Monday off to an awesome start. And I don't know whether you know this, Mash, but there was this big thing, talking about men and EQ and emotional intelligence and all of this
Yes.
stuff. Well, the biggest question on the internet for men to grapple with last week
Okay.
was if you had 100 men versus one gorilla, who would win? You saw that.
I remember that.
Yeah. So old news.
Yeah.
Now people are asking, what about one Gorlock the Destroyer versus 100 gorillas?
What's Gorlock the Destroyer?
Okay, well, you know what? You're in luck because I can show you what Gorlock the Destroyer looks like. You got a picture of her? There we go.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Did that give you a fright?
wait, is that a name?
Yeah, well, I don't know what the real name is. By the way, any luck, James, on getting Gorlock as a guest?
Let me
Oh, but
see.
you have tried the DM Gorlock.
I'm gonna try and use AI to identify her. Let's see. I'm using AI to identify her.
Are you going to use Google Image Reverse?
I'm using Apple Intelligence to identify
Oh,
her.
okay.
Let's see. It's
And let's see
taking
what
a
Apple
second.
Intelligence says her name is.
It's asking me, what would you like to know?
Who is this?
Is this?
Okay, now this is Mash using some sophisticated technology to work out who Gorlock the Destroyer is. You don't
Okay.
need,
I don't know who
you
this
don't need
is.
any. Okay, I'll
That's the
I'll tell you.
response.
I'll tell you who. So we looked this up a while ago because Gorlock is the name that was given to that person
Okay.
when they first went on a
Podcast.
there was a guy's what was it called, the what's that podcast? Anyway, doesn't matter. The fact is, Gorlock the Destroyer is actually a person who is a transgender,
Okay.
and that's the name they gave to Gorlock the Destroyer. The Whatever Podcast is what it was.
Oh, yes.
The Whatever Podcast. And Gorlock went on there, and she is an influencer,
Okay.
gets dressed up, does all kinds of videos. What I've got to say in defense of Gorlock, I never thought I'd say those words. In defense of Gorlock the Destroyer, she seems to be game for anything. She'll go on a podcast. She knows people are going to be rude to her. She's okay with that. You got to
Okay.
admire like the toughness.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
guess
the
that-
brazen shamelessness of like this is what I am.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Gareth, that's what comes with being an influencer. Being an influencer, you have to be that kind of person. You have to have tough skin, basically.
Well, this is something you wanted to talk about this morning because
Yes.
you say that the influencer revolution has begun.
So just like every other revolution throughout time, things are always changing, and people have to keep not only themselves, but their skill set up to date. You have to also change with the times as well. So just like the industrial revolutions, influencing has its own revolutions.
Okay.
And with time, there have been a number of revolutions that have happened, but they're so subtle that nobody even realizes that they're happening at all. So I'm going to give you the insight, the 411.
Okay.
As an influencer insider.
Let's go.
When it comes to the revolution that's happening at this very moment. So I'm going to take it from the top and make you understand what revolutions have happened throughout the years. The first one would be, remember years ago, 2018, when I started being an influencer, I actually started on Twitter. Twitter was the place to be, and it was free. There was free Twitter with MTN, and then that went away. So now everybody started migrating over to Instagram. But unfortunately with Instagram, it was a thing of the pretty ones make it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the ugly ones never really did.
The ugly ones get filtered out. So
That's
now
why I'm only a user of Instagram. I'm not saying I'm one of the pretty ones.
Yeah.
I use Instagram because I don't really want to see ugly people like Gorlock the Destroyer.
Exactly. 100%. You want your algorithm to show you only what you want to see, which is pretty people and nice bums.
Well, just beautiful things. Because, Instagram's very good for that. And
yes,
we've talked about this so many times on the show, but I think there are many people in the audience who agree with me that what we want is to see beautiful buildings, beautiful landscapes, beautiful pictures, sculptures, music, art, all the things, beautiful people, obviously, beautiful literature. You want to surround yourself with beauty because beauty is like an expression of divinity.
It is,
100%. There's something about appreciating something beautiful just for its beauty. Like, for example, when you sit there, and I had a lot of occasions for this over the weekend, and you look at a stretch of nature. It could be a little stream, it could be a mountain, it could be it could be anything. You look at it and you go, wow, that is just so beautiful. And you can feel it's almost like butterflies in your stomach.
Ooh, yes.
That's magnificent. There was a fish eagle flying over this valley, making that noise that a fish eagle makes.
Yes.
I just thought how many people in the world would pay, they'd give up everything they have to be here to see this now.
A lot of
the
people,
eagle is far away, but you could hear it doing that thing that fish eagles do. I can't even make the sound.
That is wonderful. You don't see such things every day.
And that's beauty to me. Like, beautiful is fucking amazing. And Instagram is good at beautiful because if you're a photographer, Instagram is the best place to be.
Oh, it is.
If you are an artist or a sculptor or something like that, this is the best place to be. If you're a hairdresser or a makeup artist and you do really good work, it's a good place to be.
Yes, it is.
So that I understand. Now, what's the next evolution after Instagram?
Yeah, so then Instagram comes along. The pretty people get popular on there. The not so pretty people kind of fall off.
They go to TikTok.
They go to TikTok.
Right.
And then TikTok is where the next revolution begins, because now it's no longer about your looks on that platform. It's about your personality. It's about what you're serving people.
But I've been on TikTok and there's no personality.
How about Gareth?
I've been there. I don't believe you. I've seen what's on there, and it's not personality.
Okay, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag of some of the stuff that you're going to be seeing on there.
All right.
But yeah, TikTok gave the people who are not so good looking a platform to be heard.
Shame.
Because they were like, okay, nobody's going to look at me. Nobody's going to listen to me if they have to look at me and focus on my look.
And be disgusted all the time.
Yeah. So I'm kind of funny. I have personality because I'm not that great looking, or not that great looking, but not that great looking for Instagram's audience. So I'm going to go on TikTok, become popular on there. Now, TikTok now surpasses Instagram. And now here comes the Instagram people, the pretty people trying to be relatable as well.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
too
a
little.
disaster.
Yeah, it's a disaster because it's too little, too late. You cannot pretend to be relatable. It's either you are relatable or you're not. So that's when the next little revolution happened.
What's that?
Because now the pretty people started falling off. Being pretty was no longer enough.
Right.
And now it's boomeranged back to Instagram. That whole being relatable and being and offering value to your audience. It relayed back to Instagram because now Instagram's doing reels. So now people on Instagram, it's not enough being pretty. just being pretty is no longer enough. You have to give people content. You have to give people value. You have to give them something to walk away with. If you're not giving them something to walk away with, you at least make them laugh.
What kind of value do you think people are looking for? Like, let's be specific here. What are people looking for when they go onto Instagram?
They're looking for tips. They're looking for hacks. They're looking for workouts. I'm sure you've seen little workouts.
Are they looking
as
for
you're
different
scrolling.
things on TikTok, or are they looking for value on both, but they have different ways of presenting themselves?
They're looking for value on both, but they have different ways of presenting themselves.
All right.
Yes. So on Instagram, obviously, everything's a bit more aesthetic. Like, for example, my Instagram feed gives me lots of workouts, at-home workouts.
Oh,
so
okay.
it'll just be these guys like, oh yeah, here's a quick workout to work on your pelvic muscles or whatever. And I do those workouts very quickly.
Pelvic muscles, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I mean, those are the ones that you got to exercise the muscles you want to use.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Pelvic muscles for MASH. Very good.
Yeah, and then you go on TikTok and your algorithm is suggesting more, I'd say, funny content. And because it knows that, okay, I like having a little bit of a laugh. I like being cheered up on this platform. So because I have built my algorithms, or rather I have fed my algorithms the information that about me that allows them to understand on Instagram that I want to see fitness content, I want to see I'd say funny content on TikTok, I'm getting what I want to see.
Okay.
But now there are now people who are falling off once again. Just
Shame.
like the first revolution where people
shame.
fell off TikTok, they went to TikTok. I mean, they fell off Twitter, they went to TikTok.
This
There's
is
so
getting
many
confusing.
ta-ta-tas
Yeah.
around here.
Ta-ta-ta.
They fell off Twitter, went to TikTok, and now people on Instagram are trying TikTok. They're failing at that, and now they're moving to other platforms, OnlyFans, because that's the next step.
OnlyFans is the final.
That's the final step.
frontier.
That's when you know
right?
that you failed. But-
Dirk says it's like every actor or musician saying how they grew up poor. Victoria Beckham was
Exactly.
yeah, look,
J-Lo as well.
yeah, but I think that era is over now. No one's interested in hearing their sub stories.
Hmm.
Sub stories must go now. It's
Sub
enough.
stories must go. People
But-
aren't relatable now.
I did see a comment up there earlier, which I quite liked, is that beauty will always have currency, and I think that's true.
That is 100% true. That's never going to
Who
change.
said that? That's a clever person. We must give him some credit. Here's Chris Smith. There we are.
Okay, Chris. Yeah.
Here we go. Big Daddy Liberty, who of course is well known on the internet and who's going to be starting a show very soon for the Truth Report, says, "Not going to lie, I have built a social media career and a decent audience, but I fear being called an influencer." Yeah, some people do
Yeah.
not want to be called influencers. Like I, for example, I don't think of myself that way. And then someone
don't
said it
either.
to me the other day. I was like, well, don't get an ego now and get all like prickly about it, because
Yeah.
that's how some people might see you.
Absolutely.
And what other people think of you is none of your business.
It's
you
none of
can't
your
control how they see you. So I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah. That term is not going anywhere.
But you have always been an influencer.
Gareth, I've
From day
been
one.
in these streets since 2018. And I'm fortunate enough to have been
Is it
to
easier
have
now? for you?
survived every
Is it
revolution.
easier for you now?
No, it's not actually. Not at all. It actually keeps getting harder and harder, because in the past it was easy as I started on Twitter. I used to be a little troll. I used to like make fun of celebrities and politicians and all that kind of stuff. I moved to Instagram, where thank goodness I looked half decent and I was able to take cute pictures and stay alive and survive that revolution. TikTok comes along. Thank goodness I have a twisted sense of humor.
Yeah.
So that helped me survive that as well. But what actually brought this topic up for me was the fact that a friend of mine, very big TikToker,
Yeah.
I can't mention her name at the moment, but yeah, so
worry.
she comes to me and not she comes to me. She posted a TikTok yesterday actually saying that I'm leaving TikTok.
Uh-oh.
I just feel like I'm not offering you guys any value. My engagement is low. Nobody's engaging with my content. I'm leaving. Simple as that. And then I just went through some of the hashtags that she had on there, like TikTok retirement, whatever. And there's many videos of people leaving these platforms, leaving TikTok in
Oh,
particular.
hallelujah.
Simply because they realize that I can't keep up with this.
Yeah, but you know, you can't have content creators in greater numbers than audience.
Absolutely.
And that's what I feel we've had for a little while now.
Yeah.
It's almost like there have been too many people to make the stuff and not enough people to watch it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I welcome anybody who wants to get off of social media. I mean, go right ahead. And I mean as a creator,
Yes.
not as someone who watches or listens.
Yeah. That is absolutely true. And now things are changing because everyone is a creator now, if you think about it. I don't know if you've been on TikTok lately, but there's so many videos, these AI dancing videos, AI karate videos, where people just load up their pictures or a picture of their baby, and then AI makes their baby literally stand up and start dancing.
I don't ever want to see your AI baby dancing, you motherfuckers. Stop it. Please let me be clear. There is no one on earth who wants to see your baby's AI dancing routine. It's first of all, your baby isn't doing that. It's AI that's doing that. Second of all, you uploaded a picture of your baby. It looks like every other baby, but you think it's different. And now you want us to pretend we're entertained by this? That wasn't funny when they had that dancing baby that was in the imagination of Ally McBeal on that TV show years ago.
Yes.
It wasn't funny then. It's not funny now. I don't want to see you dancing babies. And in fact, I think you should be put in jail if you put a dancing baby on your account.
Absolutely.
Really?
Gareth, AI is taking over social media. In fact, I actually made a video about AI in particular. I shared it with the guys. But AI is taking over social media. The content creation landscape has completely changed because now AI is taking over everything.
What's this video you want to show us?
So I actually went ahead and compared. So my partner uses the latest and greatest Android smartphone. I'm an iPhone person. My partner is Android.
Yeah.
And I put our smartphones side by side to compare the AI capabilities.
Okay.
Because, of course, the selling point of these cell phones is no longer their cameras, how good the cameras are.
No, because for the longest time, that's been the only thing that they've improved.
It's always been iPhone, Android camera, yes. But now, Android has caught up. So that's no longer a valid comparison, in my opinion.
In some ways, Android might have surpassed.
They have, definitely.
So I can tell you right off the bat that Apple Intelligence is shit.
Oh, yeah, it's garbage. It's garbage.
It is absolutely the worst thing about the Apple phone compared to... And am I wrong that you compared them and that's what you found?
No, you're not wrong at all. In fact, I compared just one feature out of a sleuth of features that could have, that literally would have destroyed iPhone completely. But I just compared one feature in my video. It's a short little 30-second video.
Let's take a look. And this is also a great example of Mash the influencer, for those of you who don't know him in that respect. This is why you got to follow him for more tips.
Comparing Android and iPhone using camera quality is so outdated. In 2025, we're comparing Android and iPhone using AI quality. So I'm putting the most capable AI Android, which is the Galaxy S25, against the most capable AI iPhone, which is the iPhone 16. Let's see which phone has the best AI. So we're starting off on the Android, where I'm just drawing a little cutout of my hand. And then all you have to do is just press the generate button at the bottom, and it takes a few seconds, and in a few seconds, voila, there you go. That's what the Galaxy S25 thinks I look like. Now onto the iPhone. I start off by drawing around my hand, and then I tap erase. Okay, it's not, let's try it again. One more time. Never mind.
Yo, you look terrible in that second one, hey? So that Android phone does a damn fine job.
Yes, actually, I'd like the guys to pull up the picture of me as well from the Android because...
I mean, you look, I'd say 12% better.
Gareth, this phone generated my face off of nothing. My boyfriend just bought this phone.
But I mean, you look a little... That's not entirely...
I look a bit wonky, yes.
No. I think in real life...
But it's close enough.
In real life, you don't look as good as that picture. I'm being horrible, man. I think that should be your profile pic. Just saying, you know? Like they've made you, I don't know.
Absolutely.
You got a good look there. That should be the one you use from now.
Gareth, this was a brand new phone that had no pictures of me.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
That is clever.
That is freaking incredible that these phones now, Gareth, I can take a picture of someone and they can be walking behind someone else and I'll be like, damn, that girl was kind of cute. I can take out my phone and just erase the person in front of her and generate her.
There we go.
That is crazy. That's the level we're at.
This is going to be for photos of like you and a group of friends and there's one person no one likes and you can just erase them.
We can just erase them out completely.
It's great. Like Stalin used to do with Trotsky in pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bona, audience, please share some suggestions with us of what you'd use these features for, because I think these are gonna be freaking huge.
Fantastic.
Once people actually discover them, freaking enormous. But it's crazy how these AIs have just become so much better, and Apple's falling behind. They're just falling behind. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality of the situation.
Lots of people agreeing with you in the comments. If you have an iPhone and you want the experience of an Android camera, just put some Vaseline on your camera. Okay, so not everybody. That's Carl.
Hi, Carl. Hi, that's no longer a thing, Carl.
Dave says, I can't say I'm influenced by the sound levels on that one. Oh, did we get the sound levels right? Jagger says, in my experience, it's much easier to go viral on TikTok than on Instagram. I create content on AI plus automation. Huh.
No,
Dirk
it's
says,
absolutely true.
Tesla phone is launching to the public in the near future. Hush, hush. That will reset the mobile market. Integrated Starlink, Grok, etc.
Okay, that sounds interesting, actually.
I think you would try a new phone.
I would.
Yeah,
I would. I'm not happy. Yeah, I'll definitely try a new
Yeah,
phone.
I keep expecting my phone to do phenomenal, blow away, amazing things. And it can. I mean, thanks to things like AI. But, you know, we've almost become blasé about the latest things that our phones can do. We're like, is that all? Is that all?
The thing is, Gareth, we've reached a peak. Now all phones are the same. It's glass front, glass back. They're all rectangles. They're all big. They're all the same. What more can they possibly do?
I don't even know what kind of iPhone this is.
I have to
look it up. Let me tell you quickly, because I need to remind myself. Someone asked me the other day, what is it? And I'm like, I don't know.
It's a cell phone.
It is called, this is an iPhone 15 Pro.
Yeah.
There's no difference between this
There's
and the
no
16,
difference.
though.
It's
Right?
just the button here. It's just the camera button here.
Do you know
that's
anyone
different.
who's still got one of the old original ones?
Oh, yes, I do, actually.
do?
Yes, someone at work. Two people. Yes. One uses a 7. And she just upgraded it now. But I remember when she upgraded it, I was like, whoa, wow.
iPhone 7.
Yeah, with the button. The
I
home
remember
button.
the wow, iPhone
it is
7.
so
Let me just look.
old.
That's a piece of history.
So
Yeah, it has the
freaking
button
old.
in the middle,
Yes.
and it's got that one little camera
at the back.
at the back.
Yes. So I have one colleague who is still using that. She just upgraded it. I think I bullied her into upgrading it.
Shame.
And
You embarrassed her.
yes, I did. Yeah, I did the Lord's work. And now there's another colleague as well using a 7 Plus. I don't know if you remember that at all.
Was that the first generation of phones they brought out with the Plus?
Yes, that was the very first generation with the pluses with 2 cameras at the back. So people are still using these phones, Gareth. Also, phones have gotten so freaking expensive.
Yes.
Remember when the iPhone X came out and it was the first $1,000 phone, and people complained, but we all bought it.
You can buy a pre-owned, certified, unlocked iPhone 7 for $2,500.
That's too much. Should be free.
For an iPhone 7, it should be free.
It should be
Chris
free.
says, I want a phone with an indestructible screen. Yeah, is that too hard for them to get right? Because those screens go, hey.
If you want an indestructible screen, go back to the past. Because remember the first phones, those E250s or whatever, the plastic screens.
Yeah, those things were, but then you couldn't see anything on them. They were
yeah.
they were like green and white or green and black or something. They were like the old dot matrix.
Oh, they were.
Printers.
They definitely were. Yeah.
They
But
made a sound like that when you switched them on.
I think they did as well. Yeah, but
They'd
times have
actually
changed.
boot up.
But it's crazy how times have changed and our requirements in phones have changed. Now we want a phone that can erase stuff from our pictures as opposed to a phone that just takes decent pictures.
Well, I mean, you showed that off so well because... and what program do you use for that?
That's built into the phones.
Oh, really?
That's the
you
phone
just
stock
on
standard
photo?
stuff. Yeah.
So you just on photo and you just outline something,
Yeah.
delete.
I just go to the photo, I touch edit, and then there's a little button on the bottom. It says clean up. And just touch clean
Can you
up
take
and start cutting.
someone who's obese and make them thinner?
No, our AI doesn't do that yet.
What a pity.
Yeah, AI simply doesn't do that yet.
What
and
a
in
pity.
fact,
because they always
Gareth-
take up so much space in the picture.
No shame, Gareth. You know, I don't mind fat people. And also, I want to preface this: like, I have no problem with fat people. I have
No, I
no
do.
issue.
No, it's
yes,
not
Gareth
you. It's
does.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, because lately, a friend of mine actually called me out quite recently.
What?
And she was like, look, Mash, we understand you're all about fitness and all that kind of stuff, but it just feels like you're putting pressure on the rest of us. It just feels that way. And you need to calm down.
A he or she?
It's a she.
And what did you respond to that with?
And I was like, and first of all, I have to also give you the context. I don't want to give too much context because I don't want these people knowing who they are. But actually, you know what? It's fine.
I know.
So,
you never hold back. Go on.
So my friend was defending another friend because I have one friend who is struggling to lose weight, and yeah, so I'm always like, oh yeah, just stop eating so much. Yeah, duh.
Well,
Hello.
that seems right to
You
me.
know? Yeah, so I'm telling them things that I do and things that were difficult at first, but after some time it becomes second nature, becomes a part of who you are. And by after some time, I mean just 2 weeks. That's all it takes.
Yeah, and sometimes when you've been doing it for a long time, you look at a plate of sweets and chocolates and you go,
no, thank you.
not interested.
No, I'm not interested. Thanks. Yeah, so
It's hard, but you
yeah.
become used to that.
As much as I'm sharing weight loss tips and advice and all that kind of stuff on the internet, I'm also trying my best to share with my friends as well. But my friends don't really appreciate it because my one friend was like, look, you're causing our one friend to have like literally a meltdown because he's not okay because of your constant weight
Maybe
loss.
he wants
weight
to
loss,
eat
weight
you.
loss.
That's what I would immediately think. You know, when a fat person is in emotional distress, what do? They comfort eat. So
They comfort eat, yes.
So I would be worried that I was asleep in the room and they would decide,
eat
now it's
me.
time for some comfort eating.
Oh my goodness. I
Oh
wouldn't
my
be...
God, you see? Look at that poor black man being crushed to death. Look at that. That is a hate crime. That's what that is.
Oh my goodness. She's sitting on him.
Well, she's going to eat him through her vagina by the looks of things.
But there's also an actual thing. Eh? People pay good money to be sat on by fat people.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole industry
It
right
is,
there.
It is. Now, have you ever, in your adventures, because you did OnlyFans for a while and you gave up on that.
For a minute, hey?
But you did it, which
Yeah.
I always thought was brave and honest, and you told everybody you were doing it, and you
Yes.
made a little bit of money, but it wasn't what you were hoping for, and you
Yes.
stopped.
Yeah.
Now,
I didn't
if
stop by choice, but yeah.
you weren't stopped by choice.
Yeah, it's because I put my bum hole as my profile picture and my account got banned.
Oh,
Yeah. I was trying
you
to
put
hard
your
sell a
butt-
bit.
You actually used your butthole as your profile picture.
Yeah, I was trying to hard sell a bit, but didn't work. Yeah. I've learned to soft sell since then.
I should hope so, because that's quite an aggressive tactic.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
straight for the butthole in the profile picture.
you have to give them a glimpse inside
Yes.
immediately.
I wonder if there's that's more hardcore than hardcore.
Is that hardcore, Gareth?
Well, it's your asshole. Yes.
Yeah, but
Jesus, that was your profile picture. Anyway, I'd forgotten the reasons you got off there. And would you be willing now to have fat people sit on you?
for the right amount, if they pay
How much
me,
would it be worth? For example, I mean, we have an enormous fat person who's just waiting back in the green room now
Oh, great.
to come up here and sit on you. How much would you need?
$5,000?
Oh, no. Then tell them to leave. tell them they can go back home. Sorry, Desiree. Just give her a cupcake and send her on her way, James.
Desiree.
Desiree's not... we brought her in we brought a truck, a flatbed truck, and she's climbed on the back. It was quite something.
That is crazy.
And we were
Yeah.
going to have her sit on you, but you just charged too much money.
I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, $5,000 is the price.
I love playing this game, though, of like everybody has a price, right?
Yes,
So
we
how
all
much
do.
would you be paid to do X, Y, or Z? I could play this game for hours.
Oh, Gareth, you already know my prices.
Okay, so what? I don't know your prices. What are your prices?
Oh, last time on the show, I told you that last time I came to the show, there was someone in my DMs who wanted to pay me
Oh,
to
yes,
watch
I do
me
remember this
have
story.
intercourse with someone.
Yes.
Yeah, and I charged them $10,000. Well, I billed them $10,000.
And they
were
paid.
Like, they're like, nope, no thanks. For a first time, I'm willing to do 6.
Oh, so you send them a quotation,
Yeah.
effectively.
I submitted
this
a
is how-
quotation.
this is called Mashonomics for anybody who doesn't know. But Mash has a whole system. Like, if you have any kinks or weird things, like you want him to do something bizarre,
And have money.
you obviously,
Yeah.
then you say to him, I would like you to do this. And
Oh,
then
absolutely.
he will reply with a quotation.
Yes.
And then you will say, quotation accepted. Then he will send you an invoice.
Yes.
Then you will pay the invoice. Then he'll do the filthy thing.
Absolutely. That's how it works. Yeah. So this person, for people who don't know, someone came up in my DMs asking to watch me having talk with someone else.
Yeah.
And it's someone from Dubai.
Yeah,
also.
that's right.
And I was like, $10,000. They're like, ooh, it's a bit too much for a first time. Maybe second time we can do that. But for now, let's stick to 6. And I was like, nope, non-negotiable. $10,000 and that's it. And that's my price, Gareth. That's my price. So what is your price?
To do that.
Yes.
The person that I'm going to have sex with, is this going to be a random person?
Anyone.
Oh,
And
no,
it's all up
no,
to
no,
you.
no.
Anyone.
No, you see, I'm very picky, hey?
Yes.
And I don't love money enough to be able to put the pickiness aside.
Okay.
I'm not
That's
saying
the
I'm
thing.
special, please.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Anyone who thinks, he thinks he's superior, I just don't think I would be able to actually do the act if it wasn't
Yeah.
someone I found attractive.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if you promised me, let's say you told me $100,000,
Okay.
like that's big money.
Oh, it's a lot of money.
Very few people in the world who would say no to that.
Yeah.
For one off. So you had to have a little bit of psychological trauma afterwards. You know what you do? You go and you give $10,000 to Dr.
Dr. Hanan, yeah.
And you're fine. You
You're
keep
fine.
the other $90,000. I
Exactly.
think your bank account will say thank you.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like a prudish, I'm too good to do that. It's just
Yeah.
that I don't think I'd be able to,
Yes.
because there are very few people in the world who actually make me interested.
I
from the point of
completely
view attraction.
understand.
So then, and I suppose, there are people who'd also say, well, you can just pop a little blue pill and you'll be fine with
Oh,
whatever.
no, it's not good for you. It's not good
But
for your heart.
$90,000, again, it's not good for you,
Sure.
but you just spend a little extra time doing cardio in the gym and you lay off the other stuff.
Just have some peanuts, have some cardio, have some
Right.
exercise, and be
Right.
good. Then you know you're going to be good.
30 years ago, people were shocked with Indecent Proposal, where a guy offered $1 million for a night with a married woman. Now we won't blink twice at this stuff. Well, that's so true, because people have no
Shame?
shame, no morals. I mean, you've seen that girl who slept with 1,000 guys.
Oh, yes.
Bunny
Apparently she
Blue
was
or whatever her
pregnant.
name
Was that a joke? Apparently she thought she was pregnant.
She's ever going to find out who the father was
No.
out of those 1,000 men.
No.
It's like a lucky packet.
Sure. Does she even have their details? It was just weird. For
I don't
me.
think she's going to go after them for alimony.
Yeah.
The kind of guys who will line up to have sex with Bonnie Blue or whatever. It
Yeah.
is Bonnie Blue, right? The kind of guys who would do that are not the kind of guys who are stable
Oh, they're not.
father material.
They're absolutely
So
not.
she's not going to go searching through the records of those 1,000 men to
Yeah.
find the husband. Of
None
her
of those
dream-
men
of her
are baby
dreams,
daddies.
of her dreams.
Yeah.
No, and the kid doesn't want to know who
Oh,
the
the kid-
father is.
yeah.
The kid barely, I'm sure, will want to know who his mother is. Because you know what, Mash? Now we're getting to the stage where a lot of these girls who've been on OnlyFans are becoming moms.
Oh, they're becoming mothers. They're becoming wives now.
Right. And then they get introduced to the husband's family or at a work function of his.
Absolutely.
They're like, hi, I'm Bunny. I just married John. Hi, John. Hi, Bunny. So, Bunny, what do you do? And John is like,
Ooh-wee.
ixnay on the fucking job. Don't tell them about what you do.
So not much.
Where did you guys meet? You know how someone says that sometimes? And you would just tell the couple gets super uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Because they met each other on
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans or
Or
in
Twitter
a
or
terrible
WhatsApp.
place, right?
Yes.
And they're embarrassed and they don't want to be honest about it. And the kids are embarrassed one day. You go to school, suddenly all your friends are like, hey, your mom, Bunny Blue, fuck these 1,000 guys. You're the child of one of them.
And kids are so
How
mean.
embarrassing for children.
Oh, kids are so
Right?
mean. They'd say that to
No
a
one's
child.
thinking about this.
Yeah. Nobody thinks about this. It's because I feel like this is the first generation of these adults.
Yes.
The first generation of these people getting married, these people building families. So we have no history or no case studies to see what happens with their marriages. Do their marriages work in the long run?
Yeah.
Gareth, you might find out that marrying an OnlyFans model is the best thing you could possibly
might
do.
be.
Maybe
It
they're
might-
the most maturest people.
Maybe because they've
Because they've
also
been banged out.
They've been banged out. They've
Yeah.
fucked their system completely up.
Absolutely.
Right, so
you
they
might
start
find
again.
Their emotional intelligence is on another
They've
level.
reset the clock.
It is so high. It is so high. When you've taken that much penis.
All right,
Your
so-
emotional
so
intelligence
maybe
is so high,
that's
I'm sure.
maybe you're making a very valid point here, Mash. You know,
Yeah.
we immediately jump to the worst conclusion. What if the best is possible?
Gareth, I'm telling
it's
you.
totally rewired them.
After 10 years, maybe 8, 7 years, you'll see articles that marrying OnlyFans models is the best thing you can do for yourself.
Well,
the most loyal wives.
Carl wants to know here, Mash, can I pay 50% deposit and then the balance if I'm happy? Just now the other person is fat or has pimples. I'd want a refund.
The other person is not fat or has pimples. The other person is my partner. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Bitcoin But says you pay by weight. B says, I had a friend who was offered 10 grand a month to shag 3 times a week. The guy is married. Ish.
Did your friend take it? That's so interesting. That's a reality as well, hey?
See, I think people are bored.
People are bored.
So there's partly that it's actually just defeating boredom.
Yeah.
Then there are people who are deeply unhappy in their relationship. They're not just bored.
Yeah.
Unhappy. Then they go searching for other things. You hear about these people who've been married for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the husband says, I'm going out to get milk, and he just never comes back.
Absolutely.
And he's got another family in another town. You know those
That
people?
happens. Yes. That's a reality as well. But also another thing is, you know, sometimes as much as people get bored, as much as all that kind of stuff, every now and then some people are just whores.
Yeah,
We can
they
also
are
just say
whores,
people
yeah.
are just whores.
There are
Some
some of
people
those.
just do it for fun.
Yeah. I mean, here's something else that Dirk says that I think is quite true. Dirk's being the most, I'm going to award the most interesting and most thoughtful commentator in the comment section today to Dirk Kutsi, who says, everyone is trying to get their coin before AI and the sex robots take over.
Absolutely.
That's true, right?
Absolutely.
Because soon it's not going to be necessary to imagine.
Yeah.
Soon it's not going to be necessary to have real people involved. You will be able to go into some terrible, terrible world where you're not even dealing with real people.
Yeah. You can just walk into some booth and get sucked off and walk right out by
Right.
an AI.
And AI will be
And
like,
life continues right from there.
you don't even need to pay me.
Yeah, I'll be like, oh, hi, Gareth. Oh, I'm feeling so refreshed. That's just going to be reality going forward.
So if anyone was wondering why Mash arrived here in shorts and a T-shirt on a cold winter's day, now you know. He's got AI at home to sort out all his needs. All right, let's turn our attention to something that's actually in a very, very indirect way related. It's a terrible introduction, but it does count because we're talking about finance magnates. Now, these guys are on the cusp of what the fintech industry is doing. They're also very, very sharp when it comes to the investing community. I went to this, was it last year or was it the year before? And hosted a panel discussion with, among other things, the Reserve Bank.
Yes.
We talked about cryptocurrency, so this will be interesting for the likes of Bitcoin But in here. And Jonathan Fine is the head of content strategy at the Finance Magnates Group, which is a premier provider of news, events, and research for the fintech and investing community. Now, Jonathan oversees the development of content at the group's website and events worldwide and is passionate about delivering insightful, unorthodox experiences. He's also an award-winning author of 2 fiction books and a literary translator. So don't ever try and say people can just be one thing. And we're going to talk about the Finance Magnates Africa Summit 2025, which last year was held in Johannesburg, but this year they're doing it in Cape Town, May 29 to 30th. Jonathan, it's nice to see you. How are you?
Great. I'm still recovering from what I've seen so far in the show.
Yeah, can you believe what you heard before you joined us, huh?
Yes, and I've added a dollop of scotch to my morning coffee just to make sure that I can match the level of.
You see, there's nothing like
professionalism.
there's nothing like this show to get you started in the morning. Okay, but I'm very, very interested in what you guys are doing. I was at FMAS last year, and I thought it was fascinating. There were lots and lots of people there. All the people who are interested in various things to do with finance, you know, how you can move money, where you can invest money, what you can do with money, cryptocurrency. There are all kinds of things that you guys are able to host at this event. Just for people who've never been there, like Mash, for example, tell us from the ground up what FMAS is.
Okay. So FMAS, an acronym for Finance Magnates Africa Summit, is a gathering of both investors and fintech industry participants, which means the people who build the infrastructure and the ecosystem that we all rely on to do all the great things that you've just discovered, just shared with us. And that's what they do there. There are content sessions, there are networking opportunities. The idea is to put together a conference that allows people to connect in an unstructured way, in an immediate way, and to see firsthand where things are moving, both on the markets and on the tech space, which converge if you look at the top stocks and so on.
They are converging, but I'm also curious about why Africa is becoming a new frontier for financial innovation, because there are so many people who just write Africa off and they go, well, you know, they'll catch up eventually. But you guys are very positive about Africa. Why do you think it's such an interesting place for this kind of innovation?
Firstly, it's the it's the youngest continent and the fastest growing one as well. So it would be very unwise to overlook it, I would say, in terms of client base. Second, the level of infrastructure and the ability to adopt, the word would be adoption, is high there and is allowing for startups to create things either from the grounds up or to use innovation as a way to cater to real and concrete needs in terms of banking services, of cross-border payments. So the potential is there, the growth is there, increasingly the talent is there. So I don't really see a reason why not to look at it. You have unicorns there. A lot of the fintech VC money is pouring, or a lot of the VC money is pouring into fintech startups in Africa. So it's quite ripe for that sort of an event, and we identify the need. We identify the desire, the wish to come together in the way that the conference offers.
So you mentioned youth. You mentioned that it's a fast moving and exciting environment, but also we're a mobile first continent, and people. You don't have to be rich to be in the investment community. You don't have to be rich to trade in various assets and cryptocurrency and all the rest of it, right? You can start small, and this is what a lot of people have done, and some of them have done very, very well from it.
By all means, on the one hand, we need to be cautious and take with a grain of salt the premise and promise of not even get rich quick. No one says that anymore, but of democratizing the markets. Many a times the jargon is one thing and the reality is another. That said, and by the way, the FSCA, the local regulator, is very alert to how education should work and how these beginner traders or investors should be treated, what sort of education there should be provided with, what you can or cannot tell them or promise them. And you've discussed somewhere an eternity ago, before all the fun stuff, the influencer thing, and I would add the finfluencer thing. So we definitely see the need to distinguish, to distinguish between false or half truths and promises, and the real ability to take to allow someone to enter the market in a way that benefits him. So the conference puts a lot of emphasis on that, in the sense that how allowing and bringing in to the stock market and other asset classes the sort of investors that would benefit from it. And you can start small, as you said.
I'm glad you brought up the FSCA in South Africa, because last time I actually introduced a speaker called Awelani Raulani, who was from there, and he had some very, very interesting things to say about the scammers and these people who present themselves, Mash, as being influencers. And I like that word finfluencer you used earlier. How do you first, Jonathan, how do you look for the real people that you should be paying attention to, giving valuable information that everybody should look at and listen to, pay attention to, and the people who are just scammers, frauds, crooks? How do you tell?
Well, first it grows on you, and it takes time to understand exactly who's who. But and the conflict is that you want to be local. You want to give local, meaningful voices a stage, because it's not a canned event that we bring from other places. We have events in London, Hong Kong, Limassol, and so on. But as one of the curators of the agenda, I keep asking myself, what's the valuable thing for the local audience? So on the one hand, you want new faces, you want fresh voices, but on the other, as you said, you need to vet and you need to make sure that it's not a cat in the bag. So, I mean, there are the obvious signs: any Lamborghinis, any flashy cars, any too neat videos are an ominous sign that
Yeah.
you may not get what you see. What else? Followership. By the way, you can see the sort of engagement that people has. If I see someone on LinkedIn with over 3,100 followers, it's not a good sign for me. It may seem paradoxical, but it's not. So again, the sort of engagement that people has, obviously the primary screeners of where people work, what they do, and so on. We have investors when we had several educators there at the event, and they also published a book, many of them, so you can see what they've done in the past. So there's sort of credibility that adds up when you examine who's who.
Okay, so Mash, what do you look for when you're looking for the difference? Because I'm sure you follow some people when it comes to money as well.
Yes.
These people who pose around cars, they usually don't own those cars,
The
right?
Forex guys on
the
social
Forex
media.
guys.
It's so easy to fall for some of this stuff
Right.
because people get misled so much on social media.
They get sold a dream.
They all think that, look, finance is all about just having the biggest, most flashiest car, and that's it. They don't actually understand what actually goes into fintech. So I'm really interested in getting to know about the people as well, Jonathan. What has it been like working with African fintech founders, investors, and creatives? Are there any standout moments for you?
First, I want to add on the former topic a pro tip for any investor or would-be investor that is listening or watching us, and that hone your geography skills and your TNC reading capabilities. When you look at a website, when you look at someone offering you investment services, scroll down to the TNC, often font size 6, color the same as the background, but nevertheless, try to see if they are regulated by the prominent and stringent jurisdiction of Santa Lucia or any other island somewhere over the rainbow. You may want to examine or at least know what you're doing. I mean, on the one hand, there is the issue of leverage that some regulators limit. So it's not a good or bad question, but it's
That's a good point.
know your broker, KYB. You know, brokers are committed to do KYC. Traders and investors, in my view, are committed to do KYB, and the conference is dedicating some time to learn how to do that. So that's one thing.
I love that.
On the heels of the previous question. As for the working with local entrepreneurs and so on, I would say that the one thing that I've noticed that is slightly different between the African guys and gals I've been in touch with and others is that sort of energy that you don't quite get elsewhere. I mean, this conversation that you guys held is one testament to that. But when you speak with founders, when you speak with these guys, it's always like there's a great, I wouldn't say radiance, it's a bit strong, but you get this sense they want to do things. They have, and I have a friend who works there and did that. Let's bring him over. Let's see what we can do. You know, there's this, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Cape Town, I don't know if it's a Cape Town drag and parlance or pan South African, but one way or another, in my conversation with several designated speakers, that's the sort of traction and energy that I sense that stood out to me.
Also, I mean, anyone who wears a suit in Dubai, I'm always suspicious of. I'm like, you know how hot that is there? Walking outside in a suit with sunglasses on, standing next to a Ferrari or Lamborghini. But I do want to move on to this quickly because you're a foreign industry leader and you're entering a local market and you're pushing for a summit that that is very African, which I think is quite exciting. And clearly what you guys are doing here is very good news for the continent, because I do believe not only are we a good market for this, but we could be a real hub of innovation. We've figured out the solution to problems which might only exist in Africa for now. But ultimately, if we figure out those solutions, we can take them and make them solutions across the rest of the world. Don't you think so?
Yes, Africa. One of our sessions is called "The Future of Crypto: Lessons from Africa," which taps exactly to that point that you've made, because many things in Africa, in the infrastructure, in the ability to adopt, in the younger generation, can serve as a pretext, or as, again, testing grounds even for other regions. And it's no coincidence, I think, that Flutterwave and Stitch and other giants, or would-be giants, or to-be giants, have started in South Africa or in Africa and go global. M-Pesa included, by the way, in terms of pioneering innovative way to transfer funds or value. So
well,
yes,
Jonathan,
being a local, yes.
Thank you so much. I'm afraid we're out of time, but I wanted to thank you and remind people that the FMAS, that's the Finance Magnates Africa Summit, held 29th to 30th of May at the Cape Town International Convention Center. And if anybody wants to know, they can go to your website. It's very easy to find. Just type in FMAS, right?
Yeah.
There we
Correct.
go. Very good. And thank you.
Okay.
Well done. We'll see you in Cape Town.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy. Thank you. That's Jonathan Fine, head of content strategy for Finance Magnates. So that's very cool.
That is so interesting.
All the finfluencers. How do you like that, Mash?
It's about time we had proper platforms for these finfluencers, Shane, because it's so hard to discern between the scammers and the actual finfluencers.
Right. Well, you can usually tell because the scammers
are flashy
and have bad breath. That's what I think. That's what I've been told that. All right, I just want to show you one quick thing to round up today's show, because we've gone everywhere today. And we didn't even get to half your family stories, but we'll get to those eventually. So this is a video that is trending all over the internet this morning of Keir Starmer of Britain, Emmanuel Macron, and a German guy who is apparently their main negotiator. They all allow the press into their little cabin. I think it's on a plane.
Okay.
And then watch what happens on the table. Because this is now the office that Emmanuel Macron and Keir Starmer and this German guy have been using. And there's some paraphernalia on the table, which it took people 2 seconds to figure out what was going on there.
Okay.
See if you can pick this up. I think this tells you what's really going on with these kind of middle-of-the-road leaders that we've got in Europe at the moment. I mean, Emmanuel Macron, no one's going to remember him in 100 years from now. Keir Starmer, no one's going to remember him in 100 years from now.
Yeah.
And this German guy, I can't even remember him now. So here it is. Take a look at this clip, and you tell me what you see going on here, all right? Our audience are very smart people. I know you'll figure it out. What is happening there? You want to see it again?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Just one more time.
Pay attention. The German guy, who's the one on the right of your screen, removes a tiny little silver spoon off the table. But the sort of spoon that you wouldn't even use that for mustard.
It's so tiny.
And Emmanuel Macron takes a little bag of white powder.
Okay.
Which they would have used the spoon to administer. And takes that off the table. So watch again now that you know what it is. Huh.
Why would they have that stuff out to so many cameras? You can literally
Well, you
hear
see,
cameras.
they let the media in without thinking to clear the table.
It's because it's such a common thing for them. It's just another Tuesday.
Right.
Don't even think about
They
it.
stopped caring about it.
Yes. So people out here are junkies. These world leaders are junkies.
World leaders, Mash. Those are the people that we're hoping will stop World War III.
They can't even stop white powder from going up their own damn noses.
They can't even hide it from the media. Forget making it go up their nose. They can't even think before they let the press in with their cameras to take the stuff off the table. Oh, guys, I know we're all pretending to be leaders and we don't know what the fuck's going on, but let's at least pretend better. Let's at least clear the table of all our cocaine paraphernalia. I mean, you could tell what's going on there. A blind man could tell what's going on there.
They're so nonchalant. That's what's worrying me, is that this is how it is then.
This is also what happens, though.
So does this mean that other world leaders who hang out with them are doing the same thing?
Bitcoin But says that is an icing sugar spoon. Yes, of course. That's correct. That's very, very sharp of you, Bitcoin But. Steve says baggy schnoff. Yep, Steve, that's correct. Anyone else want to guess? James, did you see what that was? And by the way, Super Megalol says these guys are lit. They weren't. They were still fucking boring, even after the cocaine. Which tells you all you need to know. Look at how dull they all were. I mean, Keir Starmer.
He's sitting there all dull. Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
What a bunch of retards, really.
Wow. Have they hung out with our president before? I hope not. Ooh. Cyril. Ooh, I don't even want to think about it, Gareth. This is too traumatizing.
They think they're untouchable. Colombian nose candy. Not even Hitler slipped up like that. These are all comments from people. Global leaders also need to have fun at 30,000 feet. But they don't even look like they were having fun. That's the worst part about it. Anyway, I just thought you should see that because
wow,
you're going to see it today on the internet.
Then they're going to go and pass legislations. That
They're going to ban drugs. The war on drugs. We need to stop this. People are taking too many drugs.
This circles back to what we discussed when the show began. That people who do things are the ones who always try their best to hide and hide behind things.
Correct.
You'll find these are the biggest
spot on
drug opposed leaders in the world.
They're like, drugs are terrible. We've got to stop the drugs.
Yeah.
Keir Starmer, we know for a fact, is one of these major anti-drug people.
Exactly.
So, all right. You know what? Stop believing these assholes. They don't know any better than you. They are not even as smart as you. They are below average smart. So if you're average, you're smarter than them.
Certainly.
That's how dumb. They can't even hide their bag of cocaine, these amateurs. All right. Thanks, everybody. Cyril just thinks about cupcakes.
He just thinks about cupcakes.
He's not thinking about cocaine.
Man.
Cupcakes? I would love a cupcake.
Cupcakes and pala.
What is cocaine? I've never seen that. I don't know. I can't even find my iPad. How will I find cocaine? I watched that clip. I didn't see anything.
They go, Cyril, would you like
something? Did you see something? I didn't see something.
They go, Cyril, would you like some icing sugar?
Oh, I'm surprised.
Oh, yeah, and the cupcake. Yeah. That's all he actually thinks about.
I'm always so surprised. All right. Thanks, everybody. That's all we got time for this morning. We will see you Wednesday. Live from Durban on Wednesday, I'm excited about. We'll tell you all about that when we get there. Super Megalel's last comment. You get the last word. I want to see Jay-Z and Cyril smashing fat lines at Kantla. All right. Cheers, everybody. See you later. Thanks, Mash.
Ciao.
That was fun.
Oh, that was fun.